Hey, everybody.
Hello.
Songo and I are going to read to you yet another story.
Woo.
So tuck in, children. It's time for a story.
Tuck in. Oh, my gosh.
This is from Reddit user Exhausted Cat.
Oh,
Poor kitty. This is the Territorial Redneck with the Big Rake.
Oh.
That sounds like a euphemism.
Got me at Redneck.
Thank you, Moonhorse, for reading my first story about Talkbeard. Thank you for writing that story. The way you read her voice sounded terrifyingly similar to how she actually spoke.
Oh, no.
That's really scary because you know where my Legbeard voice comes from, don't you?
No.
It's Lumpy Space Princess. I have stories about her that I'm working on, but I remember this little gem and I thought that you might like to hear it. Sorry if it's a short one. I'm sure I'm going to enjoy it no matter what. This isn't really my story per se, but my father's. I never really met this guy my father encountered, but the way he described him sounded to me like a redneck neckbeard. Oh, I've met several. However, I'm just going to call him Redneck. My dad would walk our dog daily up and down every street in our neighborhood to tire her out, and on one of these streets lived Redneck. I heard from neighbors and my parents that Redneck hated just about everyone and would harass the children walking to and waiting at the school bus stop down the street from his property, yelling and cursing at them. He had private property signs everywhere and tall fences on either side of his property to separate his yard from the neighbors, but no fence around the front. If it's a nicer neighborhood, probably because the homeowners association wouldn't let him.
Probably.
Whenever my father would walk past with our pup, making sure to keep the dog well away from the property, Redneck would shout at him to keep off the lawn and shake this big metal rake at him.
Keep off my lawn!
My father, being the polite and reasonable man he is, would say that he's just passing by and would make sure to keep the dog away from the grass. This did not satisfy the old man Redneck, and just the sight of my dad and dog walking on the opposite side of the street pissed him off. I swear this guy was so territorial he might as well have gone and peed all around the borders of his yard. I wouldn't be surprised if he did, honestly.
What?
I like that you're acting it out. The way my father described him was if one of the bearded old men from Duck Dynasty was actually skinny to the point of being underweight, scraggly looking, and with a stained shirt. Smelled like he had never had a bath and lived in a beer bottle. Oh, boy. At the time of this story, I was only 13 and just thought he was a weird old guy who hated having his lawn messed up. After a few weeks of this guy screaming at my dad on his walks, it came to a very startling end. I was already at school in the morning by the time all this took place. My dad was getting ready to leave for work when Redneck drives up our street in a beat-up, ancient-looking Toyota and blocks the driveway.
It's my awesome Toyota!
My dad gets out of his car to politely ask him to move. This scrawny little shit jumps out with this big metal rake and starts screaming,
I'm gonna beat your ass if you come near my property again!
Dad tried to reason with him, again, but Redneck starts getting up in his face and shouting,
I know where you live! I know where your daughter goes to school! I'm gonna get her! And your wife too!
Why does he know these things? That's terrifying. It was quite possible he called me, a 13-year-old, and my mom bitches, but I don't remember everything from my dad's story. Suddenly, Redneck lunged at my father with his car keys, trying to gouge his eyes out. Jesus, fuck. But my dad grabbed a hold of his skinny chicken neck to choke him out in defense. Dad, being a cop in the past, proceeds to beat the absolute shit out of Redneck before either he or another neighbor called the cops, and Redneck was nearly unconscious. Unfortunately, that piece of shit landed a couple of punches on my dad and cut the side of his face with the keys, so poor Papa Bear was left looking a little rough for a week. But bless my badass father for absolutely destroying that slimy rat. I hate to think about what that creep would have done to me if he had found me riding my bike around the neighborhood. Yeesh. The whole ordeal ended with Redneck being charged with assault and served a big fat restraining order to keep him away from our family. I almost wish he lived next door to us so the order would force him out of his own home for good. But he moved out a couple years later, and we haven't heard from him since. Well, that's a plus at least.
Yeah, really.
Jeez.
I'll get you, my pretty, and your wife too.
You goddamn kids, stay off me property. Oh, jeez. This guy sounds like a fucking piece of work. It reminds me of some people in my lovely neighborhood. Creepy rednecks and rundown ramshackle houses who think that they are sovereign citizens.
We were chosen by Christ.
Oh, no, you haven't heard about the sovereign citizens, have you?
My bad.
Oh, these are a special kind of special. These people think that for some reason, if they can sell their own worth to like something. I forget exactly how this stupid thing works, but they think that using some outdated bullshit maritime law that somehow makes them above the police force. Except that's not at all how it works. I have no idea where the hell they get this shit.
Why?
It's amazing. We're probably gonna have to watch videos on it so you can understand how fucking crazy these people are, but they are legit fucking crazy. If you guys haven't heard of this, seriously look up sovereign citizens. They're like total fucking lunatics.
Yeah, we just went through a breathalyzer. We refused to stop through a breathalyzer test. So, yeah. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Free man of the land. Got 2 cars in pursuit, close by. Where, mate? No, mate. No, mate. Am I under arrest? Am I under arrest? Am I under arrest? Am I under arrest? Am I under arrest or am I free to go? Am I under arrest? Am I under arrest? I've been stopped on my way home. Am I under arrest? No, what? No. You, I do not consent. You've got no right. Whoa! This is thuggery. What the hell's going on? What the hell is going on? Open the door. Am I under arrest?
Yes.
Under arrest.
Oh my god. No, that was fucking crazy. And it sounds like this guy in this wonderful story may have been a little, judging by the way that you described the way he smelled, it sounds like he was probably one of those really off the deep end alcoholics and just was completely pickled from the bottom up.
Yeah.
So, jeez.
No.
But anyway, thank you for this wonderful story, and
It was fun to...
it was fun to do voices for you. Yeah. And if any of you have a story you'd like to send in, you can send it to r/Moonhorse Stories. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and if you want to... my turn. Okay, if you want to keep the lights on in this place, you can do that by donating to Patreon or by buying something from the merch store. Because much like PBS, this show is sponsored by viewers like you. We need all the support we can get. We love you all so very, very much. And we'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.
Bye.
Mwah.